Hello and welcome to the show. This is For Heathen's Sake, fighting the Viking army in Wessex, AD 870 to 871. There are 6 battles named in the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle over this short period of time. This is the Battle of Englefield. As Asser wrote, at the end of the year, the pagan army left the East Angles and entering Wessex, came to a royal city called Reading in Berkshire. On the 3rd day after their arrival, a part of the army plundered the country, while the others made a rampart between the rivers to protect the camp. The pagans were encountered by Alderman Ethelwulf of Berkshire at a place called Englefield. Both sides fought bravely and made long resistance. One of the pagan earls was slain, the greater part of the army destroyed, and the Christians gained the victory. The leaders for the battle will be the following: Jarl Sidrak and Nicrac for the Vikings, and Ealdorman Ethelwulf and Wulfhere for the Anglo-Saxons. Sidrak is reckless, which may not help him in battle, and Nicrac is unproven, so I don't think he can do any free moves. Ealdorman Ethelwulf has noble origins, and that will help with rally factor. This is effectively a large skirmish, so the 2 army lists are going to be quite small, and therefore the morale clock for both sides will start at 7. Ethelwulf's retinue consists of 2 bases of Huskars, 4 of Thanes, 6 of Select Feared, 2 of General Feared, and 2 of Archers. The Vikings are out for plunder and nothing less. They only have 2 bases of Veteran Herdmen, 2 bases of Herdmen, and 8 of Bondi. They've effectively been ambushed. From the campaign perspective, the points are as discussed before. There is, however, a bonus 2 points if the Vikings escape. It is the new year of AD 870. Snow is on the ground and it is cold. There is a mist sitting in the valley between the high ground to the top left of the board and the village of Englefield down to the bottom right. The Vikings will be coming from the north down the track towards the village for plunder. Unfortunately for them, Ethelwulf and Wulfhere are waiting in ambush. Let battle commence. The stage is set. The Viking scavenging party is on the way down to Englefield, a small village, but there's a reception party for them. Ethelwulf and Wulfhere are going to ambush them in the mists of New Year's Eve, AD 870. Right, the key thing is for the Anglo-Saxons is to get in as soon as they can. Take advantage of the fact that the Vikings are not in a shield wall. So Ethelwulf will get his gang moving forward here. And Wulfhere the same. Well, the Vikings need to be quick off the mark here. They're all spread out, so they've got to get into a shield wall as quick as they can. I guess they're going to have to put 1 forward and 1 to the rear. So I'll move them forward 2. And an immediate problem for the Vikings is the rear part of the column here is out of orders, so they need to get into a shield wall as quick as they can. Right, the missiles are still out of range, so if the shield wall gets up and running where it is, they are not going to be any good. So I'm going to have to get these guys to move forward. I'll just go the other side of that hedge. They'll lose that protection, obviously, but they've got to get the bows in action. These aren't really any dense woods at all, they're just little patches of woods which are easily moved through. I'm not going to worry too much about that. It's the middle of winter. There's no leaves on the branches. That Wolf-Hearer's gang come pouring down the hill. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the Huskars. You're seeing the start of a shield wall form up with the Vikings here. They're rushing into position. Look at that. Anglo-Saxons are ready to pour into their sides. Right, so we're straight into missile fire. So these two bows are going to have a shot at the Bondi here. 7. That's 1 demoralised. And the other one's 8. 2 demoralised. Ooh. Well, that's immediately 2 gems for the Vikings. I don't think they'll have any problems with that at this early stage. Right, they will get pushed back. On they come. And Wolf-Hearer's gang, I think they'll just shimmy over to their left to give Aethelwulf room to deploy. Right, Viking turn. They're -2 on this roll, so they need 6 or above. They do not rally. Right, so movement. They will join them. These are the veteran herdmen. These guys are not Huskars, actually. I made a mistake. They're the veteran herdmen. These are herdmen. Veteran herdmen. So they're just going to come up here. 1, 2, 3. 4. The remainder of these Bondi, 3 moves, start to make their way up in support. By the end of that go, there wasn't enough points for either side to lose any morale, because we only had 2 DMZs on this group. So next round, and these 2 bows will again fire at that group there. They only need 1 more DMZ and they're gone, and they get it. First kill, and that's worth 2 points for the Anglo-Saxons. So that's gone. So these guys will switch targets to here. Oh, fantastic shooting. And that's another demoralised. So that's 3 points. But again, I don't think we're necessarily going to get up to 5 this time. I might be wrong. Right, first of all, we'll have the main shield wall moving up. Now, they're a big shield wall. Probably should have put more people around on the left flank, so Aethelwulf may have made an error. Wolf-Hearer is in for the kill. But the problem is, he's got his feared on the right hand side. You might have missed that. Right, so we have the first combat, and the combat is going to start here. In fact, I'm going to move Wolf-Hearer here to give better chance for these guys here. So he had a 3 move. Going to bring him up here. So these are select feared. 1, 2, they're on 5 plus 6. And the herdmen here are on 5. So these are demoralised. Not a good start. And on the right flank here, these are normally 2, 3 for support, 2, 5. Again, demoralised. But what that means is we're up to 5. So the Viking morale clock goes to 6 from the start of 7. Okay, rally. 8, yes, automatic. The Vikings are moving in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the final group can just come up here for the 6. That's the only number of points they've got for movement. I'm going to move Sidrak in as well to support this line. Right, so we'll start on the left-hand side for the Vikings. It's 5 versus 2. So it's 8. So it's 6, 5. So again, demoralised. And they will be pushed back. Now here we'll have 4, 5, 6. He'll get in for 7. And it'll be 3 less 1 plus 1, 3, 4. That's 12. 10. The Vikings take a hit. And they're moving down the line. Herdmen, they have 3 plus 2 is 5. And now we've got some Thanes here. So it's 4, 5, 6. 6 and 5. So that is 9, 7. The Viking takes a hit. And again, for 6 against 3. That's 14, 8. Ooh. Not quite a doubling. That's another demoralising marker in. At the end of that round, there's only 4 markers up. So there is no effect on the morale clocks. Right, rally time. They need 4, normally minus 2. So they need 6 or above, and they don't get it. So they stay on 2 markers. These guys here, the select third, they're on 4, minus 1, so they need a 5 up, and they don't get it either. That's not good. Right, I will be allowing the bows just to have a final shot before the shield wall comes through. 5, no effect, and the other guys, another 5. No, so they missed. So I think the bows are going to move off to the flank. And Aethelwolf gets his shield wall in. They don't have enough movement to wrap around. He'll attach himself to the Huskarls in the middle here. No, he won't attach actually. He will just stay here because he can give some boost for the morale. And for Wolfhera, I don't necessarily want to wrap these around just yet because we've got the Viking reinforcements coming up here. We've got to keep an eye on them. So, unsurprisingly, we're going to start here for the Anglo-Saxons. So it's 4, 6 for these guys here, and 3 for these. So it's 13, 5. That is a kill. Remember to put my killed markers down. Forgot that earlier. So the next fight here is also Huskarls, 6, because there's support there, against 3, Bondi with just 1 support. So that's 13, 6. That is another kill. 4 points already. More death and destruction. They're not going to go forward at the moment. So here we have the Thanes, also 6 against the Herdmen, who are on 3, and they're on their own. And look at that. It's 12, 4. It's another kill. Oh, absolute thrashing. Slaughtered. Right, for the Saxons, we're going to start on this side because it's to their advantage. So it's the Thanes here, with support, are on 6. The Bondi here are on 2. So that is 12, 3. Another kill. Wow, this is absolute thrashing at the moment. Again, Thanes, they're on 6. Herdmen here are on 3. Okay, so they don't get it all their own way now. So that is going to be 9-11. So the Vikings win that. Thanes are demoralised. And this is where it might get a little bit sticky for the Saxons. They're on 3 only. Do I want to get Wolf here in? I think I will have to. So it's 4 for them. And the Vikings are going to be on 4. Less 1 is 3, 4, 5, and Sidrak is going to join for 6. So that is 13-11. It's a win for the Vikings. So they get a double demoralised. And they are pushed back. So that's the end of the round. And unsurprisingly, the Vikings take a morale clock drop. And they're now on 5. Right, in my excitement there, I thought it was the Saxon go. It's not. It's the Viking go. So they need to rally here. Right, they're 4 normal. Lose 1 for that, so it's 5. But they've got Sidrak attached, so it'll be back to 4 again. They do not rally. And these chaps here, running on a 5, they do. Right, Viking reinforcements. I think they can just about get there. They can't. They can't. And they're still bringing up the rear. I'm going to have to get Nickrak in here. He will not attach. Yes, he will. They have to. Now, I was thinking about moving these 2 in to finish the Saxons off here, but these can't advance. They can't charge. So I may take a gamble and push these veteran herds forward here. They're on their own. I could switch the Sidrak around. He'll go around there as well and give some support. And that is where we'll start the combat. So it's 4-5 with Sidrak for the Vikings. And it's 0 but +1 because it's there. So it's 5-1. So there's going to be 10-4. And they've killed them. Right, next combat is the herdmen here. So they're going to be on 3, 4, 5, 6. And the Thanes are going to be in 4, 5. Less 1 is 4. 12-7. They are double demoralised. And they get pushed back. Final combat here. It's the Bondi. So they get 3 against the Thanes here, who are on 5. And the Bondi are killed. So what that means at the end of the round of fighting there, 5 points have been scored for the morale clock, but 3 of them were in the favour of the Vikings. So the Saxons drop morale clock to 6. Okay, the select field have got to rally off. It's -2, so they're on 2, back up to 3, so they rally. And these guys here normally on 4 less 2, so they're on 6 to rally. They do not. Right, first of all, the bows are going to continue to move on the flank. Aethelwulf's line will advance again. Now I'm assuming that they will have to turn and face. A few more casualties out for the Anglo-Saxons. Wolfhero here, I think, because these guys cannot advance, he's just going to hold. But the remainder of his left flank will move forward. And they will engage the Bondi here, so that looks like it's going to be one way. And indeed, that's where I'm going to start the fight. Saxons are on 5, Bondi are on 2. So it's a narrow victory for the Saxons there, 1 marker for the Vikings. Right, the Vikings are certainly outnumbered here. The Nickrak will be attached. I think he has to be for this. I forgot to move Aethelwulf. He'll move forward, but he won't attach himself. So the veteran herdmen are on 4 +5 with Nickrak. Select feared here, 3, 4, 5 with support. So it's 5 all. And that is a win for the Vikings. And that is the end of the turn. There's not enough points scored for a lowering of morale. So it's rally time now for the Vikings. They're in a bit of bother. So these guys here need a rally of 5. They don't get it. And these guys here, also 5. They do get it, so they're okay. Right, so this group is going to come up and join the fight here. The stragglers are coming up. I don't think these can disengage. These can't charge. So again, these will move forward with Sidrak, and he'll be attached again. I think he has to be. Right, I think we'll start here. It's 3 for the Vikings and 3 for the Saxons. Fairly even, and that is 10-4, so that's a kill for the Vikings. Uh, 3, 4. 10-7, so it's another hit for the Vikings. They're doing well here. 3 points so far on the morale clock. Right, combat here. 4 for the Vikings because they've got Sidrak attached. And Thanes are on 2, plus 1 for support, 3. So that is a victory for the Vikings, and these are killed. Morale clock's not looking good for the Saxons. And the final fight here, these guys are going to be 4, 5 with Nicarac. And they're going to be 3, less 1 is 2, 3, 4. Well, there we go. The Vikings are doing very well. That's a DMZ for the Saxons. They're pushed back. And after that round, the morale clocks are both on 5 now. That was all the hits going the Vikings' way. But I don't think they're going to last too much longer just because of the numbers involved. Right, it's the Saxon turn now. So we're going to try and rally these guys off. Normally 4, it's -2, so they need a 6 or above, and they do it. And over here, normally 4, it's a 5. And they're rallied off as well. Right, the bows are out of range, so I'm just going to have to get them to move again. I think here, these Thanes are going to go a wrap around on those Bondi. They're going to move back in. Just got to keep careful about the number of moves. I guess the final move will be these guys wrapping around here. Right, I'm going to start over here with the Anglo-Saxons pressing here. They're hitting the Vikings on the flank here. They're only Bondi, so it might be, hopefully, a quick win. So it's 3 for the Saxons and 2 for the Bondi. They gain a support but lose for the flank attack. Oh, no, would you look at that. That is going to be a kill for, unbelievably, for the Vikings. Disaster. I think they turn and face these guys here. But they don't fight until the next round. Now the main shield wall, this is where the fight's happening. I mean, look at Ethelwulf's line though. None of them are engaged. So the numbers haven't really told necessarily. But let's see what happens here. Nicarac will be attached for the Vikings. So it's 5 for them, less 1. So they're on 4. And select third are 3, 4 with their support. 12-7. Oh, they got away with that, the Vikings. It's 1 DMZ. So that is the end of the round. And there is no reduction in either's morale clock. Right, these guys are 4, less 1, plus 1, because Nicarac is still with them. They just about managed to rally. and these chaps are 5, and they rally as well. Right, these Bondi are going to steam in to the Saxons here. That's 1. We're going to charge here 2. Old Sidrak will hop over there, back with his veteran herdman. These will swing around and hit the flank. So that is 3. And these Bondi here, I guess they're just going to sort of swing around here for the moment, I think. Right, we'll start with the combat here. So these are Thanes, so they're normally on 4, but they're -1 because they're flanked. So they're on 3, and it's 2 here. So it's a gamble by the Vikings. And that gamble has not paid off. It's 11-7, so they're demoralised. So here we are, it's one of the crunch face-offs here. We've got the veteran herdmen who are on 4 with Sidrak giving them a bonus of 5. And the Saxons are on 3, flanked down to 2, but back up to 3 because of Wolfhera giving support there. And that is a narrow win for the Saxons, believe it or not. And the other crunch fight here, we have the Saxons select feared. They're on a 3. They're supported on their right, so that's 4. Against the veteran herds, who are on 4, -1 because they're flanked, but +1 because Nickrack is there, so it's 4 for them as well. So it's 8-5 to the Saxons. That is a DMZ for the Vikings. Oh dear. But once again, there is not enough points scored to reduce anybody's morale clock. Saxon turn. Well, I guess the bows will just sort of move here. They can't fire because those Vikings are in combat, so they can't do anything about that. I think this group of Thanes are going to come in on the flank of the herdman there. Now, I'm going to allow Nickrack to just fit in behind here. He's very vulnerable now. These guys cannot retreat, otherwise they're going to die. And the rest of this line, the rest of this line will move forward. The Vikings are getting surrounded now, and old Ethelwolf will come in and give the feared here some support. Okay, this is where we're going to start. The Saxons will have 3 for the feared +1. They're on 4. The Vikings, veteran herds, they're on 4, -1 because of the DMZ, +1 because of Nickrack. So they're back to 4, but -2 because they're flanked. So they're on 2, Saxons on 4. And that is 11-9, another DMZ marker. So they are red and they will retreat. They have nowhere to retreat and they will die. Nickrack is surrounded. What's going to happen? 5. He's wounded. Doesn't actually say what happens to him. I'm going to allow him to escape to these guys here. And this indeed is the next combat. And it's not a combat in favour of the Saxons at the moment. So it's veteran herdmen. They're on 4. -1 is 3, +1 because of Sidrak there. So they're back to 4. And they're against 3. And they lose. The final combat of the turn. So we have the Bondi here. They're on 1. These guys are on 4, -1, 3. So it's 1-3. 9-7. So the Saxons are demoralised. And again, only 4 points scored on the morale clock there, so both armies still remain on 5. Okay, Viking phase. These guys are going to attempt to rally. 6 they do. Sidrak's right with them. And the Bondi here, they do not. Okay, it's a very confused picture at the moment. The Vikings are virtually surrounded. The leaders have got away with it at the moment. So what are we going to do? I guess these guys can move forward, re-engage. The leader will be going with them. We've got some Bondi over on the right as we look. They're going to come in. They're going to come in and hit these. And that is it for the Vikings. That's all they can do. Right, so let's start over here. This is the Bondis. They're on 2. Less 1 is 1. And these Thanes are on 3. Minus 1. So they're on 2. So it's 1, 2. And that is 7, 5. So they're killed. Because they're flanked and they've got to retreat. And that's it, they're gone. Thanes are killed. That was a good victory for the Vikings there. Right, let's see what's going to happen here. There's only Bondi, so they're on 2. These guys will be on 5. You never know. 7, 6. And there we have it. Well, unbelievably, the Bondi kicked ass there. And the final attack here, we got veteran herdmen. So they're on 4. We've got one of the leaders there is 5. They're on select feared, who are on 4, minus 1 because of flanking, and plus 1. So they're back to 4. So it's 5, 4. That is 8, 10 to the Saxons. So the Vikings are fighting very hard here. That was, again, not enough points to reduce the morale clock. It's the Saxons' turn. Right, I'm going to kill these Bondi off here. That's 1. 2. Ethelwulf will move forward. I'll come back to the movement in a minute. These bows can now fire at these guys here. So the first one is a miss. The second one is also a miss. So these things will rush forward and engage here. And I think that's probably about all we can do with regards to movement. I suppose I might as well move these guys around the back here. Right, let's start with this combat here. It's Bondi, they're on 1. These chaps are on 3. And that's a kill. Now this fight's rather complex. I'm going to allow the 2 Viking leaders to get involved. They've got nowhere else to go, to be honest. These guys are on 4. Less 1 is 3. Plus 1 is back to 4. But they're flanked, so they're down to 3 again. And the feared here are 3, 2, 3. They're both on 3. And unfortunately for the Vikings, it's 10, 6. So they go to one of those chaps. They retreat, but they can't retreat because they're flanked, so they die. And both of these leaders are going to have to roll. 2. He's killed. And 5 wounded. Well, that's the second time he's wounded, so I'm going to say he's killed. All right, the final fight here. It's the Thanes here on 4 against the Bondi 2 here. 9 all. Okay, nothing happens there. However, although the morale for the Vikings have only just gone down to 4, they've only got 3 units left. I'm actually going to call this fight. They're going to run away. Slightly outside of the rules per se, but only makes sense, I think. like I say, and just stand and be massacred. So that's it. Ethelwulf's ambush has worked, although they had to work hard for that one, I have to say. Well, in retrospect, perhaps not. Viking casualties listed there, they had a total of 11 bases destroyed, and the Anglo-Saxons only 5. But also, for the Vikings, they lost their 2 leaders, the general and their lieutenant, the 2 jarls. So the campaign's off to a flying start for the Anglo-Saxons. I suppose it was never really any doubt, and I did load the 2 armies so that these Saxons were going to get the edge there, obviously. The Anglo-Saxons pick up 3 for Battle 1, 3 for leaders killed, 2 for Sidrak and 1 for Nicrac. So they have a total of 6 points. So bringing in the new year with good cheer, the Anglo-Saxons rally themselves and rush towards Reading to try and kill off the great Heathen army in one go. We're up to the 4th of January and it's Reading. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly did. If you're that way inclined, I'd be grateful for a sub. Otherwise, I'll see you in a few days' time. Happy New Year.